Welcome to Linkedup, Breaking Boundaries in Education, a podcast that focuses on what is happening in education today, connecting everyone to the movers and shakers that are breaking boundaries in the education arena.
Hello, welcome to Linkedup, Breaking Boundaries in Education. This is Jamie Saponaro with my podcast partner, Jerry Kimball. Hello, Jerry. How are you?
Good morning, Jamie. I am doing great and so excited about this podcast.
Well, yeah, because global collaborative innovation, that is our favorite topic. From both when we were practitioners, this was our favorite thing to do. So I'm so excited to talk about this. And you've invited some amazing guests today.
Oh my goodness. We are so lucky to have these four guests with us today to talk about this. So it has a lot of adjectives: innovative, creative, project-based, real world collaboration, everything we want it to be. So our guests today are John Massow. He is the CEO and founder of Global Classroom Exchange. Dr. Brad MacLaughlin, that is the Chief Learning Officer at GCE, Global Classroom Exchange. Joe Mullins, who is a consultant for workforce development and professional education. And finally, I'm just going to say this is our guest of honor, Dr. Naomi Macau. She is from Kenya and she is leading the Innovation Center there. So I just want to say that I had the pleasure to travel to Kenya in 2020, January 2020, with John Massow. And we visited his home village in Kenya. And it truly was a life-changing experience. And Jamie, I hope someday you experience it as well, because it is just amazing. You would love it. But we worked in the village with women and we worked in the schools with children. And yesterday I got to talk with Naomi for just a little bit to prepare. And I just want to say she embodies what I saw when I was in Kenya: the kindness, the gratitude, the willingness to learn, and the desire to collaborate together to create a better world. So very excited to have them. I'm going to ask each of them just to say a little bit about themselves and maybe how they got started in this global collaboration. So John, we're going to start with you.
Thanks, Jerry. Really, really glad to be part of this. It's such a wonderful opportunity, I think, to be part of this. And you mentioned it was an experiment, but it actually kind of was, right? Because we were kind of getting into all these new areas and projects that we had never done before when you came with me to Africa, and the fruits of it is what we're about to share with you today. So I don't think you're way off, but the experience was wonderful. So basically, my role and the reason why I'm doing this is because I've had the privilege of living in the US and benefiting from the education system here. And I've always believed that technology is there now that we can leverage to provide opportunity globally, connect classrooms globally. And so the passion that we have as a company is to really be able to bring and connect all those that have the opportunity to have an education, to be able to share new world innovation, to resolve real world problems. And so it's a reason why I'm doing this. It's a reason why, I got that opportunity to share time with you in Africa. And also I know Brad will get some time to share about his experience as well. Is the same reason why him and I just came back from Africa a week ago. So I'm really happy to be part of this and look forward to sharing a bit more as we move along.
Right. Brad, what do you have to add to that?
Not much. I am honestly, I'm here because John Massow is a humble person who looks for collaborators. We were introduced a little over a year, not quite a year and a half ago. And so this project has been in the works. It has been in design for that long in my life. I know that John has been working on it for years. And, you know, I'm here because in a past life, I was a school superintendent, and we worked really hard to innovate, I'll say transform high school experience, and had some tremendous outcomes. And I'd say that, you know, as a teacher, I had impact on a small group of students. As a principal, my impact grew a little bit, and my students were mostly teachers, you know, because that's where my job was, in talent development. As a superintendent, your scope gets a little bit bigger. My job was still talent development. And now, you know, with John at Global Classroom Exchange, it's the globe, and we're looking for opportunities to create innovation and transform what education looks like and feels like around the world. So thank you.
Fantastic. And Joe, you work for a workforce. Why concentrate on global collaboration?
We were working with John, what's been a year and a half, John, or 2 years? I don't know, time escapes me. I kind of help lead with workforce and economic development issues here in the Kansas City metro area, as well as entrepreneurial issues. And so John came to me, and I think Kirk Cook came to me and asked me how I could help, and basically that's how I got pulled into it. So.
Oh, that's fantastic. And I'll be excited to talk about some of the technology you're using later too. So Naomi, tell us a little bit about why you're involved in this.
Thank you very much. I said, my name is Dr. Naomi Makau. I am a Kenyan, and I work for the county government of Makueni. That is one of the 47 counties in Kenya. In Makueni County, I'm in charge of education, sports, and ICT. In my life, I've always worked in the education sector. I have been a teacher. I have been a high school principal, and I have been a university lecturer. And therefore, that means that my life is basically around education. One other thing that I've always embraced is the whole life of innovations and new creations. I always like seeing new things. I realized when Brad came to Kenya, I realized that we share a passion, that is in teaching of chemistry and physics. And in these two subjects is about creativity and innovation. And when I met John a while ago, I realized that there are very many opportunities that that can be created by global education. I mean, where we are able to collaborate, and especially where we are able to collaborate with overseas. You know, here in Africa, we take USA as our big brother. And so when I got this kind of an opportunity, of course, I got excited and said, this is an opportunity for our people to open up, an opportunity to engage with the world. Of course, now we are saying that the world has become like a global village. So we want to interact with the world. We want to interact with the globe and see where education is outside of Kenya. And so that is how we got ourselves into this collaboration, and we look forward to success in this partnership.
And Naomi, I think that part of this global village, the pandemic has really shown us that we are all in this together. And I hope that it really pushes global learning even further than it's been.
Very true. Thank you. Yes.
Naomi, can you tell our listeners a little bit about this journey to create an innovation center in Kenya? I understand from Jerry that the inspiration started in Missouri. Can you give us a little background there?
Thank you very much. It's true. The idea came from Missouri. His Excellency, the Governor of Makueni, visited University of Central Missouri, and he was able to interact with the university fraternity, and he got excited at the kind of innovations that were happening in that university. And it was because of that when he came back as a county and as a Department of Education and ICT, we thought that this is an opportunity for us to create an innovation center. I know in Missouri it is MIC, and in Makueni, by coincidence, is also MIC, Makueni Innovation Hub. And so we are happy that we are able to just try and replicate what is there. And I'm sure with time, we'll be able to just leverage and be at that level that we are able to be innovative and creative for the benefit of our young people.
Oh, that's an amazing story. I love that the governor came back and built an innovation center. I like that he's a mover and a shaker, for sure. Yes. So after the innovation center was built, that's when the real work starts to happen with the students. John, can you tell us a little bit in detail, what kind of projects are you working on? What are you doing together with the Kenyan Innovation Center?
Sure. So one of the big challenges in Africa, and I think globally in all developing countries, is figuring out how to provide jobs, right, for the young folks and how to provide opportunities. So what we're trying to focus on right now is provide opportunities for young people to learn how to be entrepreneurs, right? A lot of times entrepreneurship is conceived to be something that's a bit out of reach. Everybody wants to be a Bill Gates, right? But it's not always the direction that entrepreneurship takes for a lot of us. So we are hoping through some of the programs that we are running right now at the Makueni Innovation Hub, that we will be able to teach young folks how to be entrepreneurs and be successful in being able to run small businesses. We also want to work with them to give them the ability to create these businesses and fund them. Some of the challenges that they have are finding seed capital, right? So we want to be able to provide that opportunity so that if somebody's looking for a bit of money to start a business, once they've gone through the programs, we're able to provide that opportunity for them. Beyond that, we want to make sure that they have some sort of incubation. We want to make sure that we give them some coaching and pair them with some entrepreneurs who are successful so that they can be able to be coached and their businesses can be nurtured to success. So that's really the idea that we would want to accomplish and the goal that we want to accomplish now. Makueni Innovation Hub is just one start. The program we're doing there is a pilot, but Makueni has about 52 other innovation centers. We want to scale this up because Makueni is about maybe the size of Missouri. And it has about 1.5 million folks. And where the Innovation Hub currently is located is somewhat central. So you can imagine just one hub for a whole entire state. So we would love to expand this and scale it up so that we can be able to reach more youth out in Makueni County. But primarily innovation, the Innovation Hub is is geared towards youth and creating opportunities for entrepreneurs to succeed.
Wow, this is amazing, because this is what we're trying to do in America as well, and you have taken it across the globe. It's really outstanding.
Yeah, I think it's amazing. I love the partnership with business and industry as well, and the mentorships that are involved. It really is key. Just like you said, entrepreneurship seems so lofty, right? But when kids have the opportunity to actually be mentored and talk with those involved, then they see, well, I can do this too. This is not something that's just kind of out there for others to do. I think it's amazing. And I've mentioned before that when I was teaching back in the mid 90s, I was using my America Online account to connect with a school in Uganda, actually, and a school in Australia. And we did studies on wetlands and compared and contrasted our wetlands. And that was our global project that we did together. We did it through an organization called iEarn, and we were able to find partners that way. But it was super low tech. I mean, we just used email to communicate. And it was simple, but it worked. But now we have so many other opportunities. Brad, can you speak a little bit about the non-traditional methods that you're using to educate students and how you're allowing these students to connect with AR and problem-based learning?
Absolutely. We do have some really good photos of Governor Kibwana with a nice set of Oculus on. So AR, VR is absolutely a platform that we want to use. A lot of the equipment that, you mentioned engaging industry, and really engaging industry is of the three really important action steps. That's one of them. And I don't want to get too far off your question, but we've got to change the way that teaching and learning happens. We've got to change the experience that the students feel. It can't be a bell rings, sit down, listen to one person, bell rings, stand up, right?
It's not the real world.
Exactly. So turning those into project and problem-based opportunities, using some competency-based measures, and plugging industry in early, so that the lessons become very relevant. Technology is, it's the delivery tool. It's the vehicle that will get us from where we are today to scale the GCE goals. But it's kind of funny we talk about GCE goals, because as we create those, we're asking Dr. McCow and Governor Kibwana and the entire ICT team in McQueen County what their goals are, because those inherently become ours. And you're right, technology will play a big role in the delivery of that curriculum.
It takes down some of those barriers. It helps to make the connections a little more streamlined, smooth, and engaging as well, for sure.
I have a follow-up question for you, Dr. MacLaughlin. Did you find that their goals are vastly different than our goals, or are you seeing some through threads in these goals?
First, I'm just Brad. Can we
We'll do it.
Okay. It's funny. Dr. McCow and I had a chance to sit down and really visit over lunch. And the reality is we're just a couple of, science teachers. In education, the goals are the goals. Goal number one is all associated with kids, right? Our students, or sometimes they're older. Sometimes we get adult education courses that are very relevant and important. So the answer is no. Their goals are to create a culture of innovation, to improve the opportunities that people have in the future, remembering what our restrictions were and our limitations were, and working hard to remove those.
And breaking down those classroom walls just like Naomi said, I mean, we need to, we're so myopic in everything we do. We're working in silos and we're not able to progress our world if we cannot come together and collaborate across the globe.
You know, and another one of their goals is to build capacity of the teachers, right? Because the teachers, let's be honest, when it comes to the conduit between the system and the students, teachers is where the magic happens. So, you know, they are very focused on building the capacity of their teachers so that when this does get to the classroom level, that it stays relevant, it stays engaging, and so yeah, the goals are so incredibly similar. We operate in parallels. We're just, you know, pretty long road trip away from each other.
Absolutely. Joe, I was wondering, I hear that you're using, are you using augmented or virtual reality? And tell us how you're using that in this project. That's pretty fascinating.
Well, we are using both, but for the pilot and what Brad's talking about was basically VR. And we started our mixed reality studio, which is part of our Gigabit lab here last fall, I guess, maybe last summer. And we are expanding that and looking to use VR and AR technology, virtual learning to expand offerings of curriculum and or workforce training from a distance learning standpoint. So we're just now starting to play with that a little bit. AR, VR is fairly new kind of technology. It's still being applied in industry, still being applied in education. And so we're going to be developing applications in aviation, healthcare, just general education, design drafting, architecture. So we'll be expanding that over the next year. So
it's amazing. You're just blazing the trail, really.
Well, we're trying. So
for others to look at and see what you're doing and make it work in their environment as well.
Yeah, and we're also hosting a designer challenge, AR/VR design challenge this summer for the Kansas City metro area. Actually other parts of the Midwest as well. And that is geared towards more students and entrepreneurs, both, and faculty to come up and design applications related to AR and VR. So yeah, we're starting to try to expand our footprint in that area. So
yes, and I hope next year that the Kenyan students will be part of that design challenge. Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah, that would be great. It would be interesting. We're trying to slowly introduce that technology over there. As Brad alluded to, they showed the governor. We had a platform that we used to kind of demo the distance capability of the platform, VR actually. We also demoed that technology to the governor here in Missouri a couple of months ago in that same platform. And so we're starting to dabble with it. We're going to see how it works and so on. So.
You are truly blazing the trail. And Brad talked about the teachers and getting them involved. Dr. Naomi, how are your teachers reacting to this? What are they saying about this program?
Thank you very much. Our teachers are already excited about it. First and foremost, we have our ICT team, the staff in the ICT department. They are very excited about this exchange and this program. And a big number of them want to be involved directly, even in the pilot, because they feel, yes, this is the way to go, is the best thing that has happened to our county and also to our country. So everybody is excited. When John and Brad came to Makueni, we visited 2 institutions, one for people living with disability, and another one for technical training. And those that we met there are just anxious to see the program beginning. So our people are ready, and we're just anxious to have the program running.
Will your teachers and the American teachers have some collaboration together? Will they be able to talk together?
We would really love for that to happen, because by the end of the day, we want to be able to do the program ourselves by just replicating what is happening in MIC. So it will be very, very important for our teachers to communicate and collaborate with the teachers in MIC so that we learn from them, and then we are able to just bring MIC here in Makueni.
Yes, absolutely. And I know that our teachers have a lot to learn from your teachers as well. So it'll be a great collaboration as we move forward. So we are going to kind of round out our podcast with a few lightning round questions that we're going to ask each of you to answer in 30 seconds or less. So the first question is, and we'll just go in the same order. Let's just do John, Brad, Naomi, and Joe. So what do you think is the best thing American students can learn from their African peers? And African students can learn from their American peers? What can we learn from each other? Is there anything in particular? John?
Absolutely. That's an easy one. With I think the collaboration we've already experienced at MIC, Joe has been a good witness to that. Kids just know how to resolve issues. And it's funny because they all have different approaches of resolving real world problems, right? And so I think the best thing that they can learn from each other is just different approaches of engaging different problems and coming up with different solutions for those problems. It was interesting on a project that we were working recently with MIC and collaborating with kids in Makueni County and Machakos County on healthcare. And we're talking about telehealth. And it was crazy how they were able to tackle some of the issues and just similar issues, but the approaches were very different. But at the end, the goal was the same. So I think that would be one thing that they could really benefit from learning from each other.
Great. Brad?
For me, it's about their surroundings. I really want American students to understand what it's like over there. And I'll tell you, we spent 5 months on Zoom meetings until I stepped foot there and experienced it. I really didn't know much of anything, but I'd love to give American kids an opportunity to just hear what it's like. What is a day in the life of a student on a different continent? We have a tendency to be very myopic and very, very much what's immediately in front of us, and just to operate with some empathy for those around the world.
I love that empathy on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Naomi?
There's so much to learn from one another. Here we take America as a big brother, and I'm sure when we work on projects together, there's so much that we are able to learn from them. They are able to learn from us, and for us, the attitude that Americans have to education for us is a very, very important thing. At times here, we train so much. It's like a child has to learn everything, but we do realize that out there, there's a lot of specialization and that kind of thing. So for us, we are looking forward to that kind of learning where our kids will be able to make decisions, to learn how to just specialize and that kind of thing. So I do believe that there are a lot of opportunities for learning from both ends. Thank you.
Absolutely. And Joe?
I think really it comes down to you're bringing individuals from different backgrounds together, and they all have different experiences, and that drives the conversation and it drives the solutions that you come up with. And I think that's just what is the magic of it. So I think with the brief pilot we did, I think that's what, the kids over here learned a lot of what was going over there, how the students think over there, and the students over there got to see how we think over here, some of our, ways of thinking. And I think just their backgrounds brought solutions and ideas and discussions that you wouldn't normally see. So
yes, great.
Amazing. It's amazing.
It is. And I think they already answered my second lightning round question. So I have a last question that is for Brad. And I would like to know, since it's just so fresh in your mind, your trip to Africa, what are a couple of takeaways or learnings that you brought back that affect you?
Wow. I experienced the most kind, grateful, and faithful people I've ever met in my life. I'm just that it was on a daily basis. I did not experience cynicism. I did not, it was just a different world, and it's a very happy place to be. And again, they're very faithful people. Incredible work ethic. It's just the expectation that this is what we do on a daily basis. So I think I was surprised, or not surprised, but really taken aback by just the kindness that I experienced.
It's funny, and some around the world probably take that for granted, but you going there, that was probably super spiritual and life-changing for you, and humbling, and probably put things into perspective for you. I bet it did. Although I do have to say, I'm going to give Jerry the points here, because you didn't bring back the attire that Jerry has today.
The earrings, you were going to wear yours today.
Yes,
remember?
I was. And I'm sitting here looking, I have 3 shirts that were actually handmade for me, and I'm disappointed in myself that I did not put one of them on. We went to a place called Kikotech. They make clothing, and so I should have, and I'm
yes.
so yes.
Next time you can do it.
Absolutely.
Dr. Naomi, I'm just curious. I have a final question here for you. How has COVID affected the Innovation Center this year?
COVID has really affected our center, but we have found ways of working around it. For example, we have run programs on girls in STEM, girls in ICT. We had a 3-day program for girls in ICT. We trained them on ICT skills. We also had a program for children where we just train them on ICT. We introduce them to ICT and that kind of thing. Currently, we are running an innovation challenge, which we are coming to the tail end. Actually, the climax of it is next week when we are concluding. So much as COVID has come and slowed us down, it has made us to think beyond, outside the box, because we are able to still run programs, though in a scaled down manner, but we still have been able to do that. Of course, COVID has helped us learn new things. We were used to do meetings all through, but with COVID, we have learned to do virtual meetings. I think that was the first thing, the first time that we began doing virtual meetings. So for us, COVID has affected us negatively, but also there have been a lot of lessons that we have learned from it. And we'll keep the lessons because most of them are very valuable.
Oh, that is great. That is amazing. I'm so glad that you just thought outside the box and worked around it. I'm going to ask our producer if he would let me share my screen. I just wanted to share a photo that I took in Africa and a real takeaway that I had. If Marvin can let me do that. All right, let's see. Let's see. Are you seeing my screen?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So what I want to say about this, and some people aren't seeing the visual, so I'll explain it a little bit, but at about 6 o'clock in the morning, we were heading into town, and you see these 5 children on this dirt road walking. And if you look closely, you can see that their shoes are very tattered. You can also see that they have huge smiles on their face. They are such happy people. But we stopped the vehicle and I said, John, why do these boys carry sticks? Do they have to fight off animals on the way to school in the morning? And he said, oh no. He said, when they get to school, they have to work together to cook the lunch. Everyone contributes to the lunch. And today, these 3 boys with the sticks are contributing to the fire to cook the lunch. My takeaway from this this picture is etched in my mind every day because I think metaphorically, what is that stick I'm bringing to the group? And even if my shoes are tattered and I don't have it all, can I take that smile from their face and keep it on mine? They inspired me. I think about them every day, and I just wanted to share that final thought because it just shows what Kenyans are all about. They are the most amazing people. So I just wanted to share that with you. And I'm going to give you the screen back if I can. There we go. And just as a final, I want to thank you all for being here today and sharing your story. Jamie, what do you think? Are we going to follow up on this one in a year?
I think we need to. Absolutely. I need to know the progress and what's been happening. So please share. And we'll also link the websites here so people can see what's happening along the way. But yes, absolutely. Please join us back for a follow-up. We absolutely want to have you if you'll join us.
Yes, absolutely. And for our listeners, if you'd do us a favor and hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss any of our episodes. We also wanted to add that we do have school districts that are watching our podcast and giving teachers credit because we have incredible leaders on the podcast that are truly breaking boundaries in education, just like this team is, and it could inspire some new thoughts and ideas. So that's an idea as well. But thank you again for being a part of our podcast today. And we wish you all the very best with both MICs.
Thank you.
Very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening. And if you would like to stay linked up, be sure to follow us on Apple and Spotify and subscribe to us on YouTube.